Yo, my name is Travis and I'm going to show you how to create a board game from scratch using our board game, Scribble Quest, to walk you through it. Let's get started.
TIMORUM
Gamers! Now, I like to break step one down into two phases. Phase one is the brainstorming phase. Phase two is the concept phase. First, the brainstorming phase. All we're doing here is capturing any and all ideas. We're trying to get everything down on the page, so don't try to filter out what you think is good or bad. Please note that oftentimes the brainstorming phase is a place where you can get incredibly stuck. So one way to get around that is to use a timer. So what we're gonna do is get a timer, place it for about 15 minutes, and then work with an extreme ferocity. Now, there are so many ways to brainstorm, so don't feel like this is the one way that you need to brainstorm. If Google Docs isn't working out for you, go old school pen and paper. Heck, use a recording device. You can even set up a tripod and record everything via video. Now, keep in mind, if you do record your brainstorming session, somebody is gonna have to go back and notate everything. So you could also try to use some kind of notation software, but that can be a little wonky at times. So this is why we decide to use Google Docs. The thing is, we can share it while we work, it saves automatically, and we can go back to it whenever we need to. Now, all we're doing here is just proposing ideas, little what-if scenarios. We propose an idea, this makes us ask a question, and then we answer that idea, which again generates another question. Okay, now that we have a bunch of ideas, we're gonna start hammering these ideas down. Now, what has worked for myself and my team is that we use the think and wait method. This is essentially, we give the brainstorming session a day or two to kind of mature, and then we come back to it and look at it with fresh eyes. I use the think and wait method with our board game, The Quest for Oniyum. It takes time, but again, I found it the most effective, especially when I was a solo team just a few years ago. So after we brainstormed, we decided to do another brainstorming session. Now, the one that you saw was actually session number 2. And at that point, we were naturally beginning to go into the concept phase. The concept phase simply means that we're beginning to make decisions that's affecting the general theme and mechanics of the game. So we're actually using the same document that we used before. The concept phase is all about the two most important questions. Who is your customer, and what do I want the players to experience? When you begin answering these important questions, they're going to spur more questions, which you're then going to want to answer. Now, you may not be able to answer all these questions quite yet, but the more that you can nail down, the better it's going to be in the next stage of creating your board game. It's also good to answer some of the other important questions like the following. Why are we making the game? What's the recommended amount of people to play? How long is the game going to be? What type of game is this going to be? What is the theme? We did some research and didn't find that many dungeon crawl board games for children. So our goal is to create a game for children in the 5 and up range, about the 5 to 10 range, specifically for gamer parents that want to play with their kids. Now, with our game, one thing that's very important is that we're actually kind of hitting two different demographics. So knowing this, we're really going to have to make the game very simple, because our idea is to be able to have a parent play it with their kid about 1 to 2 times, and that's when they're going to understand how the game plays. Now, knowing this information, this is definitely going to affect the design of Scribble Quest. So make sure that you know your target audience so that you can design your game accordingly. So of course, in theory, just like everything else, creating and brainstorming and coming up with a concept is very easy, but as you can see, it can be quite a bit more challenging than what people think. Now, if you have any questions with your project, please ask us in the comments down below. Also, please tell us what's the main driving force for you to create your tabletop game. Thank you very much for watching episode 1 of How to Create a Board Game. Next time we're going to be talking about creating basic rules and mechanics, so make sure to freaking smack that subscribe button so you don't miss out. For more TIMORUM Gamers action, make sure to click one of the videos down below. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.